about 12, I remember looking at him and he was angry. He didn't love school. He didn't love being homeschooled. He was struggling being the older brother of a kid that had to have major surgery, who was always the center of attention. And he kind of just felt like off to the side. And I was new enough in homeschool that I hadn't quite settled into delighting in learning yet. I was still finding myself with my guinea pig child. So here we are in the kitchen. We lived in San Diego and it was a beautiful day outside. And I'm looking at my oldest son, and I swear, like you could see steam coming out of his ears. He was so upset. And so I took his full brothers. I'm like, hey guys, why don't you go outside and play for a minute? I need to talk to T. So we're sitting at the table. The brothers are running around in the outside, and I kind of lean forward and I go, buddy, I owe you an apology. And he went, huh? I go, give me all of your history curriculum. And he's like, okay. And he reaches and he kind of shoves his books across the table as if they were infected with the bubonic plague. I'm like, what do you want to do when you grow up? He's like, I would love to be a history professor. I'm like, okay. From this point forward, rather than doing your history curriculum, why don't we figure out an outline and create a template? You decide which things you want to study in history, but you're going to do it through the lens of looking for what you want to share with your future class. How does that sound? You can kind of work on your future files from your classroom. He's like, okay, okay. I go, give me all your language arts. He's like, what? I go, give me all of your language arts, your books, your quizzes, all that stuff. Give that all to me. So again, threw it like it was COVID. I threw it across the table. I go, you know that novel that you would love to write, but you don't have time because you're so busy doing school? He's like, mm-hmm. I go, instead of all this language arts stuff, how about if I give you an hour or two a day just to work on your novel? And he burst into tears. He wasn't sad. He was seen. And I felt so bad. He was 12. And in our homeschool journey up to that point, I hadn't seen him. But when he felt seen, it tapped into this deep, dark well of pent-up emotion. And on the other side, we cried together. And on the other side, he was able to lean into what he loved, history and writing, to go deep into those things and to express it in a way that made sense to him, that he had ownership to. He was working on his future, creating stuff for his future students, creating the book that he wants to do. And I remember talking to him in that same day saying, okay, but I want you to understand something. What if you decide not to become a history professor? Which he decided not to. But what if you decide not to be a history professor? Will this have been a waste of time? And what if you never publish your book? Will that have been a waste of time? And he was quiet for a minute. He's like, no. I go, why? And then I did the pregnant pause. That's where you just be quiet and you just wait. And he goes, because I had a goal and I worked toward achieving a goal. And I said, exactly. And what would we do together if you change your goal? He said, just plan towards getting toward that goal. And I said, exactly. That's the life lesson. And I need you to know, as you're studying these stages of homeschool, that as you put these things into practice, you're going to have some hard moments like that, or from this perspective, beautiful moments like that in homeschooling. And I need you to know it's okay, that you are not teaching curriculum, you're teaching your child, and you're stepping into the stage of learning and development that they're in right now today, and you're meeting them where they're at. And when it's done right, you know that you've nailed it. not when they burst into tears. I mean, that's a sign of, wow, I'd really failed up to that moment in time. But you'll know that you tap into who they are and what's important to them because you'll see things happen physically. You'll see the actual smile lines. Or one of my kids, his face cracks when he smiles. That you can fake smile, but a real smile is seen in the eyes. That's where the eye, so you'll be able to see the sparkle in their eye. You'll actually potentially see color come to their face. They'll lean forward and they'll be so excited to dive into whatever it is that you're doing. It's how you know that you've tapped them on the heart. In contrast, when you look at your kids and they slump and they you know something needs to, sometimes it's pure attitude and that needs to be addressed as a parent. But sometimes it's because what you're trying to teach has no connection with what they want to learn or what they want to do. So the stages of homeschooling unlock the ability to tap on your child's heart and to breathe things over them in a way that they feel and you'll be able to see from the outside. So I'm really excited that you're a part of this class. I can't wait to hear what you get from it. I have personally seen homeschool families do a 180-degree turn after learning these 3 stages of homeschool. It really helps set you free.